Yes.
So this here is supposed to be critical national infrastructure. It's a nuclear room storing nuclear material. There's no username, there's no password. Anyone can go on Google and find these critical national infrastructure sites. You know, you've got Bob there sat down playing on his telephone, right? The nuclear vault there stored, source vault one. You got the timekeeping, the front lobby, the lunchroom outside. You can take the IP address for that organization, and then you can do a Whois to find out the postcode. Oh, really sorry about this, boys and girls. And then you could take the IP address to find the zip code or the postcode. Use Google Maps to then get the external perimeter. You know, this is accessible over port 80. We're not using any credentials because none exist, you know? So anyone can just come across and view this. One of the scary things is when an employee looks up at the camera on this specific software, it draws a green box around their face and shows their ID number, their first name, their last name, their job, what time they started work, what time they're due to finish. And if they don't finish on time, they have a red box that appears and you can see security like going over to him and escorting him off the premises. But again, critical national infrastructure. And anyone with Google can literally type in this specific thing to find this in less than 10 seconds. This is why you have the kids conducting attacks in this day and age, right? Sophisticated attacks, but yeah, it's sophisticated in the government size, but it's downloading something for Candy Crush to mine lollipops. They have no idea. There was a famous case where this child in Northern Ireland, the one that hacked TalkTalk, had downloaded Candy Crush to get more lollipops in his game, plugged in his phone, started smashing the FBI servers and everything else, the CIA, and then got put in 2 years for juvie. But he didn't know what he was doing, but he was still liable under the Misuse of Computer Act. He was still liable under the laws. And one of the things is the Misuse of Computer Act. When was it last updated? You know, when was it updated for BYODs or bring your own devices to work or remote working? Or it hasn't. And a lot of these laws and legislations that are affecting, you know, young teenagers and people that want to get into cybersecurity is written in such a gray area that it's entirely up to what the judge feels like. You know, if you go to Google, can you see Google now?
Yeah.
So we have these little funny ones. So right now I'm on a VPN. So you'll get loads of random places. You know, I'm never not on a VPN. But you can connect to an exchange nearby to an organization. So if the exchange is nearby, you know, when you go on Google and you type, I want a takeaway, I want a pizza, right? And then it finds you a store that's like within a mile or 2 miles and recommends that. A lot of the Google dorks and exploits work in a similar fashion. So you can narrow it down to like open infrastructure that's nearby wherever you're testing. You know, and once you're essentially find a piece of infrastructure that you can compromise, or like here for an example, you can start moving the cameras left and right. There's no username, there's no password, there's no authentication. There's a guy there doing whatever he's doing, right? I don't know. Let's tilt down. And then there's a card machine over there. So you just imagine if some hacker sat there remotely now and zooms in, just started skimming cards. Again, all this stuff, misconfiguration, the dangerous element to security of the fact that, yeah, let's have cameras to monitor employees, but let's forget to close the ports down on the firewall, and, you know, let's forget to not change the default credentials. A lot of people as well, if we, excuse me, sorry. A lot of people with infrastructure, you know, we have printers, right? A lot of the default printer credentials, admin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, never get changed pretty much 6 times out of 10. So what you can do is a lot of people do scan to email. You can then go in, log in with default credentials. You can right click on the page, inspect element, and take away the, you know, the asterisk so you can see the password in plain text. Once you've got the SMTP password, username, you can start outbound spamming from that company. All because, you know, essentially someone's not changed the default printer password. So this is just one of the demonstrations. Okay, so can you see? So this application that you can get from the App Store, it's just a test card because I don't want you stealing my details, but it'll show you what currency the transaction was, what timestamp, the date. It shows you the, again, I'm just going to hide this because I don't want you all hacking me. The full 16 digits that you can get and reveal, how many pin tries, the pin count that's left on the card issuer, the time of the issuer, the person on the manufacturing line that was working at that time, their ID stamped in the card as well. And then so much more like fun details and information that you can do. But anyone with a simple NFC device can just download the app and then just start tapping cards. Or you can build an antenna for like less than $10 and then start farming cards. I did it as a thesis at university and a proof of concept. I managed to get 1,100 cards walking around Asda during a 2-hour shop. So I didn't take all the personal, just the serial number. That's all the cards to prove the concept. And we estimated that I could have took anywhere in the region of 300,000 to 600,000 during that time period. So, and some of these were corporate cards. So again, it just goes to show that anyone can do this. One of the other demonstrations is the dry ice method that I was teaching you guys earlier. So how to get any item free. So I want you guys to pick an electronic item, something like a tablet or a Mac or whatever. Just pick it, not something stupid.
A new phone.
All right, new phone. You want iPhone, yeah?
Samsung.
You want Samsung, okay. So you go to a store where the Samsung device is on display. So like it could be a store that, it could be a phone store, right? It could be Couriers, PC World, anywhere really. So the phone's on display and you can, oh, this looks cool. Let's pick it up. It's still got that security thing on it. You can't steal it, right? Go to the about section or on the back of the device, there's a serial number. Write down that serial number and then go home. So the device is still there, sat in the store. You've got the serial number. So ring up Samsung Direct and say, hey, I've got an issue with my device. It's like getting really warm and the back's like bending and there's lines on my screen. Okay, well, can you take it to where you purchased it? Sorry, my grandfather bought it for me and I'm unsure which store he got it from. He's passed away at the moment. All right, no worries. That's fine. Have you got the serial number? Yeah, sure. I've got the serial number. It's here. Or, oh, where is it? Like, how do I find it? Oh, go to about. Go to say, oh, okay, no worries. Oh, I find it now. You know, it's there, right? Just play with him for a bit. So they'll say, okay, well, it's, you know, I can see it's under warranty. It's not been registered. Would you like to register it? Yeah, obviously, it's still sat in the store, right? It's not been bought yet. It's a display model, so it's not registered to anybody. So I'll register it. Okay, no worries. Well, it's covered under warranty. However, we need a copy of your debit card or credit card to keep on file. If you don't return the faulty goods within a 30-day period, we're going to charge that card in full. Okay, that's fair. No worries. So go to the store and buy a Visa debit gift card, you know, that you can get for birthdays and stuff like that. That's not registered to anyone, but still shows up as a Visa debit or MasterCard. So Samsung will take £1 off it to verify it's a legitimate card, keep that on file for 30 days, and then ship you a brand new item the next day. And then obviously you can't return the faulty goods within 30 days because you don't own it, but they'll try and charge the card that's not registered to anyone, and then you get a brand new device. What hackers will do is they'll look for sale properties or to let properties, put a note on the door, please leave package next door. So that address is blacklisted. The next door neighbors receive the package. You go and collect it from them. So your name or anything is not linked to it and you have a device there to use. So this worked a lot with Apple. But then Apple turned around and said, we want to physically see that device in our warehouse, right? So what did the hacker do? He goes online and he buys an empty box. You can buy them all the time for whatever, refurbs for birthdays. So let's say he wanted a laptop. So he buys the empty box for a laptop. And then what he'll do is buy some dry ice and find the weight schematics on Amazon's website of how much the laptop weighs, like 3-4 pounds or whatever. Puts dry ice in the box, wraps it up really quick, takes it to Royal Mail or a courier service. They weigh it. So the weight's like 4 pounds, right? By the time that reaches the distribution center, the weight's 0, but the package has not been tampered with. Not my fault. You know, when I put it in, the weight 4 kilograms, like this has been stolen in transit, right? It turns into a gas, so it leaves no water damage, no traces of anything at all. So Apple said, well, we're suing Royal Mail. We'll give you a brand new item. It's not your fault. So it just goes to show how hackers can make money, not just by stealing from, you know, companies with data wise, but just a quick buck. And I mean, you can make like 50, 60 grand a week doing that without getting caught. Not that I know, I'm just telling you for education and research.